Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chapman here, Executive Editor of Madison365 with your daily update for today, which is Monday, March 28th. We will jump right in with some COVID news because it's still not a lot of news here, to be honest with you. On Friday, our 7-day average of new confirmed cases was 315. Today, it is 316. So steady over the weekend. The positive test rate on Friday was 2.7%. Today it is 2.8%. So a slight variation in both of those, but not a meaningful one. I wouldn't call that an uptick at all. That's just slightly higher, but basically steady for all practical purposes. Hospitalizations actually continue to fall. Today, Monday, we are below 200 now. For the first time in a long time, we're below 200 people hospitalized. I just relying because the Wisconsin Hospital Association does not present this data in a way that goes back very far. I'm relying on my memory, but I don't think we've been below 200 people hospitalized since like June of last year, June or July maybe. But that's 6 fewer than yesterday. 188 is the current population of people hospitalized because of COVID. That's 6 lower than yesterday, but it was 210 or something on Friday, if I remember correctly. So it's 36 lower than a week ago. Now, the ICU patients are up a little bit today. They're up by 6, actually, to 41. So still not a huge number, but that's still lower than it was a week ago by 2. So just going up for the day, it could be just a data issue of timing of when the data is collected, that kind of thing. So we do now have 250 ICU beds available in the state of Wisconsin, which is much closer to a normal number, to the number that you would expect to see on a normal pre-COVID day, right? So, we're basically at this moment, you expect to see in normal circumstances between 275 and 300 ICU beds available in the state of Wisconsin. So we're almost back to that right now. So that's very good. Remember that number was down to as low as 39 at one point. For the entire state of Wisconsin, there were only 39 ICU beds available. There were entire 12 county regions that had 0 ICU beds available. Right? So today to be back to 250, much better situation. Now the one number that went up that I don't like, and I think there's a reasonable explanation for this, and I'm not terribly concerned about it, but I don't like it, is the daily average of new confirmed deaths has gone. It was 8 on Friday, and today it was 12. Now, the reason that doesn't concern me a lot is that these are not when the deaths occurred, right? This is always when the deaths were confirmed. So the fact that it went from 10 on Thursday to 8 on Friday to 12 on Monday just means that the paperwork was done on a different day, right? You hate to, it feels cold and gross to talk about death in the terms of paperwork, right? We don't like that at all. But that's why the 7-day average goes up. Is that if you had a whole bunch, somebody came in on the weekend and processed a bunch of death certificates that had been waiting to be processed, that average is going to go up for that one day, right? So we'll still continue to look over time, over the trends over time, and I would expect that to continue, that to actually go back down below 2 digits, down to 8 or 9 by Wednesday or Thursday. If it doesn't, we might have another issue. We'll see. But again, that's a lagging indicator that reflects what was happening a month ago or more. So again, I'm not terribly concerned about it, but we will wait and see what happens there. So that is the COVID situation. Overall, pretty good shape all around. Now we'll get to some other news for you. But first, I have to mention that it is Metcalf's Monday, and I got to get my, sorry, I forgot that it was Monday. I got the graphics for you, but I have to get the message here real quick. All right, it is. As I said, it is Metcalf's Monday. And Metcalf's is a fourth generation, family owned and operated market with stores in Madison at Hilldale and behind the West Town Mall, and in Wauwatosa at 68th and State. Their sustainable seafood selection is unlike any other in town, with fresh deliveries coming in 6 days a week. And you can order for pickup or delivery online at shopmetcalfs.com every day, which, pandemic or not, that's just easier to do, right? It's an easier way to do your shopping. So again, we thank Metcalfs for their support of the Daily Update and of Madison365 and all the journalism that we do. Also in the news today, on the site this morning, we talked a little bit last week about the Diverse Business Assistance Program, which is from the Department of Administration. We talked last week about the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce and Rock County Jumpstart getting money from this. The Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce also got $3.4 million through this program. And that's going to help them ramp up. They have been around for a long time as the Dane County Latino Chamber of Commerce. And just in the past couple of years, they've expanded statewide. Dave Dahmer, our editor, spoke with Jessica Cavazos, the president of that organization, talking about that, how this money will enable that statewide transformation. There are a lot of Latino people and Latino-owned businesses that aren't in Madison and Milwaukee, right? You got them in Platteville, La Crosse, Green Bay, growing Latino populations all across the state, and this money will help them reach those entrepreneurs, reach those small businesses, reach those communities, and support that economic development in those communities, which is really, really key and really important. So that story is up right now at Madison365.org. Also today, we learned that at Marquette University, the Lexham lecture will be delivered by Bomani Jones from ESPN. The Lexham program is a memorial program for two former Marquette students, and it provides a scholarship in sports journalism to one promising student, and also hosts this lecture series every year. The host of The Right Time with Bomani Jones is Bomani Jones, and he will give that lecture this week. And the link to it is free and open to the public, and the link to register and all the details are on the site now at Madison365.org. And finally today, in more sporting news, Johnny Davis of the University of Wisconsin is one of the 25 finalists for the Lute Olson Award, which is the basketball equivalent of the Heisman. It's for the player who's named the Player of the Year in the NCAA. Johnny Davis obviously led the Badgers, not quite as far as they wanted to go in the tournament, but had a hell of a good year anyway, and is up for that award. And so we'll keep an eye on that and see how he does in the voting. We will be back tomorrow morning with the podcast, and I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with another update for you. Until then, follow us along on Madison365.org, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We are now on LinkedIn if you are over there and want to find out all of our news there as well. So until then, though, have a great evening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon.
This is 365 Media.